Hey y'all, and welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be looking at a chess game that I played today, which was just one of the most irritating games I've played in a while. My opponent starts off this game with a very offbeat opening and ends up into a much better position, which I am unable to do much in. Alright, let's get into it. My opponent starts off the game with move b4, and I decide to play e5, which is the most principled move here. Point of e5 is, of course, take space in the center. B4, by the way, is one of the most rare moves ever because it's simply just not a very good move. This is called the Polish opening. I'm sure many of you have seen it before, but it's just not a good opening. Bishop b2, I play the move d6, which is what I normally play here. Simply defending the pawn, not going for the complicated lines after bishop takes b4, bishop takes e5, and some weird mumbo jumbo with my opponent having a lot of play with this active diagonal. And of course, since he would obviously know more about the position than I would, since he plays this, then I would be probably just in a worse game, right? So I decided to go d6, not take the pawn. He plays the move b5, which is common here, and I play the move bishop to d7, which I thought made sense, since I'm simply going after the pawn, and I thought that, okay, well, I'm gonna target it, and if I play a6, I thought that he could maybe play this move b6, just coming up into my position, and after c takes on b6, I mean, my opponent has a decent amount of play for the pawn, and I wasn't sure if this was exactly what I wanted to do. Fortunately, as you can see, my evaluation was not on point today, and yeah, it shows throughout the game. Bishop d7, the move a4 is played, trying to defend the pawn. I play the move knight to f6, very common stuff, putting that in the center. Maybe I'm gonna put in the set, maybe I'm putting in like the d5 square, maybe e4. Probably gonna play this castle. Maybe I can play this, and play a6 at some point, going after his strong pawns on the queen side. But whatever, knight f6, knight to f3. I play the move bishop to e7, which I thought just made sense. Probably I could have gone for g6, by the way, but I wasn't sure about this move. I just didn't really think that I had much of a plan here. G6 it's just not really the point of many of these openings. Like this diagonal, I'm really not supposed to be contesting for. Yeah, it's tough to find a plan here. So I just play natural moves, bishop to e7. My opponent goes e3, which makes sense. And now I play the move b6. With the point of now I want to play the move a6 and not allow the move b6 himself, which I thought, in all honesty, in a vain turn of events, that that it was really bad if he played b6. But in all honesty, like, it's not. It's perfectly fine. If he plays b6 and sacks the pawn like that, I can just take it and I'm just up a pawn, which is something I failed to comprehend throughout like most of the opening. Any case, bishop to e2, a6, and c4 shows me just being under a serious amount of pressure, and my position is just bad. This is tough to play. This is very difficult to play because he's just going to have a clamp over here, and this knight is going to have a hard time developing, and I have light squared weaknesses all over on this side of the board, and basically everywhere at this point. And he's going to have a pretty strong pawn at the end of the day. So I have to figure something out. I decide eventually that I want to take on b5 with the pawn. Not for any real reason, just because I thought maybe I could open something up, and I was kind of praying for the move c takes b5, so then I could play the move c6 and try to get something interesting going on here. But this is just not correct. Maybe after c takes b5 I could castle even, and try to argue that his pawns aren't really where they want to be placed, but in any case, that's not correct. That's just a bad evaluation of the position, which I was doing a decent amount during this game. Instead, a takes b5 shows me in a little bit of an issue, a little bit of a problem spot here. A takes on b5, and you can already see what's going on. I thought that this move was not good from a distance, because after rook takes a1, bishop takes a1, I thought that like he has some issues like getting back to the a file, but this is also incorrect. He has queen a4, he has bishop here, he has knight to c3, castles, bringing the rook over, and this is just terrible, mainly because I'm unable to develop my knight. I'm just unable to get this guy out of here, and he's gonna have the a file. So I don't even know what to do. I don't even know how I'm going to be able to get this working. I try to make this work. I go to the move c6. Go to the move c6. I have to do something. I have to do something, right? Otherwise, I'm just going to lose because I have no space. I'm so cramped, so I have to do something. c6 on the board. c6, of course, if he takes, this would be a huge mistake because knight to c6 is a very, very nice move here. And I'm able to get my knight out. Castles is next. Queen to c7, and I'm able to actually take the a file very, very quickly, which is, of course, something he doesn't want me to do. And in all honesty, I'm not even sure why. Actually, yeah, knight to c3, and he's kind of exploiting my weakened light squares here. And this is kind of the only reason why white is still better here. If not for this move, I think that black actually has a very, very decent game. And it's a little bit tricky for my opponent to really combat this. But of course, he doesn't take. He knows what he's doing. He wants me to take him, and he goes with the move castles. Very logical. Very, very logical move. Just castling, and he has ideas to put the rook on the a1 square in the future. So I decided to take. He takes on b5, and I decided to play bishop to e6 with the idea that I need to get my knight out, right? I want to go here, if I can draw arrows, here and here. This is what I got to do. This is what I got to do. Castles, queen c7, and if I get a couple of moves here, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be always fine here if I get a couple moves because this pawn is inherently a weakness in the long term. But currently as it stands, this pawn is actually very, very good for my opponent. And I need to get development because, well, it's restricting me. And also my own pawn is restricting me. And I can't push this to get my dark square bishop out because, of course, I'd be dropping this pawn. And everything is spiraling out of control. Knight c3. I play h6 after a little bit of thought because I thought that at the end of the day, if I played knight to d7 immediately, I thought this move knight to g5 was very, very powerful here. Going after my light squared bishop, if I go here, I thought that like even g4, and I am just kind of wholly unprepared for like what's coming over here. There's a line that goes bishop takes g4, bishop takes g4, knight takes g4, queen takes g4, bishop takes g5, and the simple move knight to, sorry, not knight d5. Knight d5 is natural, but actually the move is knight to e4, going a little bit more active here. And after bishop to e7, defending this pawn and moving my bishop out of the way, queen takes g7, and black is losing. Black has just lost. I'm not down any material, but I can't castle. My opponent's going to go here, rook to g1, and yeah, I'm getting swarmed, which is a little bit of an interesting idea, so I didn't want to allow any of that garbage. So instead, before I play knight to b7, I just thought, okay, I'm worse. I'm clearly worse. I'm also not up on time at all, which is just awful for this position. I have to do something quick. I have to do something immediately. Let's just play the move h6. This is fine. We're just going to play h6. It's not that big of a deal. Now this square is covered, and knight to d7 is coming next. And even though I'm obviously worse and I'm very, very close to a losing position, this might be my best attempt. d4, and I immediately get a new spark of hope. d4 immediately struck me as a bad move because what it does is that it allows me to go at him in the center and open up my dark sword bishop, which has, like, for the occasion, been doing nothing, and I quickly take advantage of that. I play the move e4, knight d2, and I play the move d5. And you can see how my dark square bishop is opening up. This light square bishop that was doing nothing is still doing nothing, but now I'm able to get a different piece in. My queen is going to be able to get to some active squares. My knight is able to get to d7, which I still need to get to. Castles, and maybe I can get the rook to the c file or to this file. And this clamp is actually decently powerful, and now the position is a little bit more calm for me simply because I have a little more space. he let me have space. By the way, if I were to do this like immediately, of course this move doesn't work due to this move, just winning like either the bishop or monster attack. Let's say h6. Let's say what can you play? Now let's say h3. I can't really do this move immediately because my opponent would get the d4 square for his knight, which is a very, very powerful square. He's going after my light square bishop. Maybe queen to c8 is what I have to play, defending my bishop, defending this square from all means, and even knight takes e6 here and like a d3. And you can see I'm just worse. These pawns are awful. My opponent is going to be able to break apart my structure if I go with a d5, which makes some sense. D takes e4, d takes e4. This pawn is a huge weakness. Queen to a4, and automatically white is just better because they're getting this and having some pressure on this, so I can't really do much. And yeah, it's just clear. It's clear that I'm lost. So I can't do d4 immediately, but sorry, I can't do e4 immediately, but with the inclusion of d4, now he doesn't get knight to d4, and black is better with the move d5. Well, not better, but black is okay with the move d5. Queen to b3, which is pretty logical. I thought that the point of this was that, okay, his idea is that he wants to go here eventually. He wants to go with this move eventually. He wants to put pressure on this. I didn't think too hard. Simply castled my king. It's not the end of the world. Obviously one of the best moves in the position. Bishop to b2. All right, he's trying to play for bishop to a3. Thought this was the main point of this. And for some reason, I got a little bit too excited with what I was doing. I should have realized that if the bishop gets to the a3 square, there's no real issues with it. I guess it's not that much of a problem. Like, I can trade off the dark star bishop if I want. I can also just play queen c7 and trade it off on my own terms. The bishop trade for me is not bad. The bishop trade for me is okay when he does it on his terms. And yeah, I'm a little bit worried about his bishop getting active, but the move that I play was a grave over exaggeration of the position as I play the move queen to d6, which I thought made sense since I'm stopping this, which was the point of the move, and I'm trying to open up my rook, which is like it's a multi-purpose move, right? Like that's good. That's good. We want our moves to do as many things as possible. But queen to d6, what it does is after the move rook to a1, he just restarts the threat. Like the threat is still there. He's just gonna play it in another move, and I'm already in a bit of a pickle. For example, queen to b4. My opponent can go bishop to a3. I probably have to take the queen. He takes on here, here, here. My opponent's coming into my position. This pawn is a huge weakness, while this pawn is actually massive strength, bolstering and stopping my knight from developing. So I play knight bd7, say rook to a6, and yeah, like what is going on? I'm just lost. I'm just dead lost in 15 moves. Apparently there's some way to keep going, but it seems a little bit far-fetched. I guess rook to c8, knight to a4, and like rook c2 or something stupid. I don't really get it. Knight e8? No, I mean, like, what are we doing here? This is ridiculous. Here, only move rook c3. No, come on. This is very complicated. I'm not going to be able to find all of this. So rook a1, and I start to panic. I can't play knight b to d7, which is my main idea, because of course bishop a3, I'll be dropping a piece. The queen cannot defend the bishop, so that doesn't work. And I instead decide, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my rook out of the way. I'm going to defend my bishop, and then I'm going to play knight b to d7 on the next turn. So I play rook d8. That is not... I thought I played rook e8. What? Why didn't I play rook e8? I don't even... I thought I played rook e8. Okay. I guess I played rook d8. Okay, I kind of remember what I was thinking about. Yeah. I was deciding that I wanted more protection on this pawn for some reason, because I thought that maybe I wanted to go here in some lines and target this pawn. This is a little bit silly of analysis, and I thought, okay, well, if I'm not defending the pawn, then my queen might have to move. This is a little bit silly. I shouldn't have played rook d8. I probably should have played rook to e8, if anything. Computer says rook c8 is the best move, but I guess when I was playing, I thought this was... I don't even know. This move is not very good. Yeah, even like looking at it now, yeah, this is just stupid. This is just stupid. Whatever. Rook d8 on the board, I guess. I don't know why I played this move. And my opponent finds the correct response. Rook to a7. And yeah, this is not good. This is not good. The best line now is to put the rook back on the e8 square, which is a little bit tricky to do since I just moved the rook. And I decide not to do that. So I play the second best move. Queen to b4. Of course, what he's threatening bishop to a3. This move was a shock to me, in all honesty. I didn't really see this idea. But he's threatening bishop to a3, which would pick up the bishop since the queen is unable to stop it. Also, by the way, it would trap the queen, which is a little bit funny. That's kind of an awkward queen trap. I didn't really understand that. Yeah, but that's a little bit goofy. One of the best lines, by the way, is rook d7, bishop a3, rook takes a7, and just sacrificing the queen. Not good stuff, as you can see. But rook a7, I play the move queen to b4, the only move in the position, I thought, because, well, I'm going for a queen trade now, and bishop a3 doesn't really do anything anymore. Like, it's okay, but it's not a move that's actually like killing me or anything. It's not winning for white if he plays bishop to a3, even though it is one of the best moves in the position. My opponent plays bishop to d1, which is a little bit interesting. His point is that he wants to recapture with the bishop, as he thinks that the knight coming to this square doesn't really do anything since these squares are defended by my weak pawn. And he thought that this move was making sense. So I was like, okay, that move makes sense. It's not really a mistake. I think that it's fine. Computer really wants queen c2 for some reason. I guess it makes sense because he's just threatening this, and my queen is actually just trapped, and I'm just losing. Okay. Yeah, I'm just lost. Completely lost. Oh my god. No, rook d7 only move. Bishop a3. I have to sack the queen. I have to sack the queen. Oh my god. At least in this line, it gets some play. Like, I get some play for the queen here. It's not over here, but yes, this is losing after like even knight a2, for example, hitting the bishop, going for some like ideas down the c file. I don't know, maybe bishop b6. We're not going to look at this. It's a line. Yeah, but I missed queen to c2, bishop d1 on the board. I decided to play knight b to d7 since this was the whole point. Like, I need to get my knight developed, and I'm finally able to now since I'm no longer dropping a piece due to bishop a3. And yeah, if he found queen to c2, he would be doing very, very well here. Instead, he does not. He plays move h3. I decide pretty in vain that, okay, I'm just gonna do something. I don't really know what to do. I don't like where my knight is positioned. It can't really go forward at all. So maybe I can reroute it. Maybe I can reroute it somehow. This is entirely nothing. I didn't even calculate any of this. This is really, really stupid, in fact. But I play knight f8. I play knight f8. Why not? Queen to c2, still completely winning, but the position is plus 1.1 otherwise. So this is okay. And he blunders. He simply blunders. Which is very, very nice. He plays rook to b7. And this is just not a good move. This is simply not a good move. The reason why it's not a good move is that he's giving up the a file, and he's allowing me to like fix everything up. I realize here that I've been a little bit idiotic, and that I probably shouldn't have gone knight to f8. So I go knight 8 d7, which is the best move. Just coming back to defend the pawn. But now he kind of has to repeat. Rook a7 is probably the best move here. And then I can figure out another plan. We've repeated once. Maybe this is like a better improvement for him. But in any case, he probably has to go rook a7. And he doesn't. He instead goes for a plan that I don't even really understand. He goes for the plan of king to f1. And the point of this move is that he probably wants to go here and like play f3 or something and try to take advantage of my my pawn chain, which is like that. But this is a blunder. This is like basically a blunder at this level because he's just giving up the a file. Rook to a8, and I would be in a much better position. It's actually very, very tricky to play here for my opponent because, well, now his rook is a little bit stuck. I might be able to do some goofy intentions with it, like bishop to d6, for example, is one of my next moves. Just defending this square, making sure that the rook is like actually just very, very stuck here. My rook is very, very powerful, and I don't think that the minus 0.2 of the position really does it justice, because this is very hard. This is very, very hard to play if you're playing with the white pieces. But I don't find that. At this point, I was sure I was lost. I was sure I was in some terrible, terrible position, so I just decided, okay, I know I'm really, really bad here. I'm really, really, really bad here. I gotta do something, otherwise I'm gonna lose. I go G5. I go insane. I go G5. I gotta go for something. The point is, I'm just trying to make some counterplay. I thought my opponent could probably just play like G4 and be fine. Actually, this is a bad move due to queen back to D6 and going for this, which is a little bit fun. I didn't see that. I thought G4 and like he was maybe like getting it all together. But G5, and he has to think for a little bit, and he makes another terrible mistake. He goes king to E2. Just complete tunnel vision on his plan. No respect for my attack, no respect for any of my play, and queen to D6 here is winning the game on the spot because I'm able to come in here. I'm threatening this, and after the move knight to F1, stopping all of that, now I get the move rook A to A8, and this rook is just dead. This rook is just dead. This pawn is really, really good for me. Actually, this pawn is not an asset, I would say, but it's not like a weakness anymore since I have very good control of it. And his pieces are a little bit stuck. This bishop is doing nothing. This bishop is doing nothing. This knight is kind of doing nothing, but it's probably his best piece. And this knight is stuck defending the H2 square. So I would be completely winning. Of course, I do not find the move queen to D6 because queen to D6 is a little bit alien. I didn't find that. I'm still in panic mode. So I play the move G4. I play the move G4, and I'm trying to argue that, okay, I may or may not have an attack. I may or may not have some sort of counterplay, since now he's blocked his light squared bishop from defending this, and I don't know, maybe I can get something going here. H4, I play the move G3, of course. I'm trying to disrupt his play, and yeah, he has one move that he can play. He has to trade my queen. After bishop takes b4, he has to take on g3. And while you may look at this and say, well, that's insane. This is a crazy, crazy position. I mean, black is clearly better here. Black is clearly better. These pawns are way too weak. Like, I feel like everything is doing very well here. But actually, if we're really evaluating the position, it's kind of difficult to play. The best move is knight to e8. I don't even understand. Oh, I guess I do understand that move. The idea is this and this, right? But still, like, even if we get all of that, like here, rook c2, rook c7, knight here, I'm just dropping another pawn. Well, I'm not dropping another pawn, but like I guess I am dropping another pawn. There's this move. Yeah, and it's very, very complicated here, but he doesn't do that. He makes another huge mistake and plays the move f3, which is just awful. Oh my god. This move is just terrible because my move is simple. He takes on f3. If he takes back with the pawn, now this pawn is going to just go. Like how is he going to stop that? I'm going to play queen to d6. And now queen to d6 is a much more findable move because the pawn is just way, way too powerful. And I'm going to play that move, and he just has nothing. He just has nothing. The pawn is way, way too strong. So he plays knight takes f3. But now I realize this simply gives me the e4 square for my knight, and I just realize, okay, I'm better. Knight on the e4 square, and I'm just winning, I think. I just think I'm doing very well. He has some weaknesses in his camp. This pawn is a huge weakness. My pawn, where it has been like the focus of this game for a while, is not a problem, and he simply makes a blunder. Knight takes on d5. He thought that he was winning a pawn, but no, he's not. I think he might have calculated this wrong. He might have thought, okay, knight takes d5. He takes back with a bishop. Queen takes. He takes my bishop, and then he takes my knight. But of course, in that line, taking the bishop would be with check. And yeah, as we know, checking wins games. Of course, you should always check your opponents, no matter how many times people have told you not to. Checking is the only way to win the game. Absolutely, definitely, 100% of the time, for all intents and purposes. This is a lie. You should not play stupid checks. So yeah, in either case, knight takes on d5, bishop takes on d5, queen takes on b4. He decides, but here I'm just up a piece, And the game ends very, very swiftly here as my opponent decides to sacrifice the rook on d7, but fails to see that bishop to c4 is a checkmate on the board. Very, very nice checkmate. Bishops like this, his own pieces are guarding his escape squares. And yeah, that was a cool game. Of course, I don't want to be in a terrible cramped position like that after the move b4 at the start of the game. Probably need to do some studying against the Polish. I don't really want to because it's a stupid opening. But at this point, I probably have to because I've never had a good position against that opening. But either way, that's all I've got for you today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys found this entertaining, instructive, all of the above. If you did, remember to like, subscribe, do all the normal things YouTubers tell you to do. And yeah, that's it. Good evening and good night.